So something's always bothered me about the story of Pandora. This is the classic book on mythology by Edith Hamilton that had been used as a textbook for many, many years. This was written in the 50s, I believe. So here's Pandora and her box of misery and woe. Let's use this story here. Another story about Pandora is that the source of all misfortune was not her wicked nature, but her curiosity. The gods presented her with a box into which each had put something harmful. Okay? Each of the gods put something harmful in the box and forbade her ever open it. Then they sent her to Epimetheus, who took her gladly, although Prometheus had warned him never to accept anything from Zeus. This is because Prometheus had tricked Zeus previously, and he was afraid of Zeus enacting revenge. He took her, meaning Epimetheus took her, and afterward, when that dangerous thing, a woman, was his, meaning Pandora, he understood how good his brother's advice had been, Prometheus' advice. For Pandora, like all women, was possessed of a lively curiosity. She had to know what was in the box. This is a generalization, okay? These are the Greeks, not me. This is the Greeks talking. Actually, it's Edith Hamilton talking. One day she lifted the lid, and out flew plagues innumerable, sorrow and mischief for mankind. In terror, Pandora clapped the lid down, but too late. One good thing, however, was there: hope. It was the only good the casket had held among the many evils, and remains to this day mankind's sole comfort in misfortune. So mortals learned that it is not possible to get the better of Zeus. So this is the part that's interesting. So at the beginning of the paragraph it says that all the gods put something harmful in the box. At the end it says there's one good thing, and that's hope. Now when we think of hope, we usually think of, here's the definition of hope: a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen, or in an archaic sense, a feeling of trust, as a verb wanting something to happen. Or another translation in Merriam-Webster, a feeling that something good will happen. Now, this is interesting because the first definition is just a feeling or an expectation or a desire that something will happen. Not necessarily good or bad. It's just that expectation. If we look at the Greek word for hope, it's elpis, okay? Elpis, according to Wikipedia, in Greek mythology, elpis is the personification and spirit of hope, in parentheses here, usually seen as an extension to suffering by the Greeks. Suffering. Now how could hope, which in the words of Emily Dickinson is that little bird that sings in the soul, you know, and that we think of hope, we think as in our culture, we think of hope as such a great thing. And certainly, aspiring for good things, certainly there could be nothing wrong with that, right? Well, if you use this definition here, a feeling of expectation and desire for something to happen, what happens when I have an expectation? Well, when I have an expectation of something to happen, I get my hopes up, right? That's the phrase. And when that doesn't happen, if I get my hopes up too high and something doesn't happen, then I'm disappointed, right? And if I expected something to happen and then I'm disappointed, I might actually become resentful that that didn't happen, either towards the gods or an event, a person, something else. So can you see now how having hope in Pandora's box, which actually was a jar originally, this was mistranslated into a box by Erasmus, I believe. I can't remember the year that's attributed, the mistranslation is attributed. But the ills that come out of the box, hope, could be good, could be bad. Yes, it depends on how high you set the bar on your expectations. But anyway, that's a distinction that I've always wondered about with the idea of Pandora and Pandora's box. So if you have any questions about this, please put them in the comments below, and I would love to hear what your comments are on this. Have a great day.